Hey guys, how are you all doing? Welcome to my channel. So, today we are gonna see, what if Naruto met Kaguya when he saved her from bullies when they were 3, part 1. Subscribe if you enjoy the video. Let's start the story. I knew that creating those fruits was a monumentally stupid thing to do, Yami. Said a woman that looked like an older version of Mikan from To Love Ru to a woman that looked like Eve Lunatique. Like a million times Kami. Said Yami while using her prehensile blonde hair to form hands to shut Kami's mouth while reading Boruto manga. I hate that Masashi Misamoto is making a mockery of our child of prophecy Kami. Naruto only marrying Hinata and having only Boruto and Himawari then those Otsutsuki douchebags had to mark Boruto before turning into Momoshiki and Sasuke had to kill him. That's just pathetic. Yami said to her sister. I know. I created chakra for the betterment of the universe and now they're imprisoning Juobas left and right and treating them like wild animals, then reusing them to plant more shinjas. Kami said angrily. The guy saves their asses on a daily basis and unintentionally seduces girls. If I see Hagoromo I'll bitch slap him to kingdom come for not being attentive to their mother, so we need to intervene and prevent this orgy of chaos which is ironic since I'm the personification of chaos and death but I have my limit sister. Yami said. Well to save Earth and themselves we have to start at the origin of all. Kaguya Otsutsuki. Misamoto never gave her a proper personality, just a replacement for a misunderstood Madara. All power but lacked skill, and Naruto was incomplete from birth since Minato only put the yang part of Kurama to his son, despite Kushina having him along with Naruto inside her for 9 months, making him compatible with Kurama. Kami said. How about we make Naruto born from a kamikaze from the planet Take? He will help Kaguya go towards the right path. Yami said. Then so be it. Kami said with a snap of fingers and everything went black. Planet Take, Otsutsuki clan castle. It's a girl. A midwife revealed a newborn baby girl with skin as white as porcelain with strands of white gray hair and she opened her eyes that were white by Akugan and the aura that she released was calming even when crying. A woman with horns that looked like wolf ears had tears of joy while a man with ram horns smiled while his wife handed him the baby. We'll name her Kaguya similarly to his wife Kagura who will usher true peace and power to our clan. The man named Maiko VI proclaimed to his subjects bowing. 3 years later, little Kaguya, as shy as she could be, felt doubt as to how she would rule one day, but she was too kind to rule with an iron fist when some older boys bullied her since she was born without horns that they ganged at her when suddenly someone shouted, "Hey, leave her alone." A boy that was the same age as her but had blonde hair. This was Naruto Kamikaze only child and Hinata Namikaze and Mikan Kamikaze, Nee Maelstrom, are the seal masters of the planet as their saying goes when in doubt use seals. The 3 bullies were Momoshiki, Kaguya's older brother, and the prick of the clan who is a spoiled brat, Urashiki, her lazy douche cousin who always copy others' techniques, and Asiki, a main clan member who somehow has a beef with Kaguya and her ideals. This boy somehow protected me by attracting their attention to him. Urashiki was nearly going to use the Kama seal on Naruto, which made Kaguya gasp since they told her to never use that seal on an ally. Suddenly something in Kaguya happened and absorbed chakra from the planet itself and knocked Asiki with her pinky finger while the other 2 didn't flinch until they saw eyes into evolved into the ultimate form of the Byakugan that only a few have had it which was the Tensugan and just by looking her they got knocked out. She came to Naruto and with her newfound strength and speed, Speedy Gonzalez ran into the hospital. Unknown to them a blue toad with demonic eyes was watching them and smiling, saying I finally found my apprentices. As he left by teleportation. It took a whole day for Naruto to recover and Kaguya stayed on his side except when nature called and ate. His parents came crying. Son? What happened? Minato asked. I just did just what was right dad. Naruto answered while his mom hugged him lightly. Child, what is your name? Mikan asked Kaguya. Otsutsuki Kaguya Mrs. Kamikaze. Kaguya answered to Mikan when both parents bowed. Your Majesty. They both said. No need to bow to Mr. and Mrs. Kamikaze. She said. Sorry it's just that you're a main clan member and in line to the throne. Minato said. I never liked how my ancestors ruled this planet so I want to change it. She said with newfound confidence. Meanwhile at Naruto's mindscape awake my child. A woman's voice said when he awoke somewhere that looked like heaven and in front of him was a woman and he blushed but the woman took it as a compliment. Allow me to introduce myself. I am Kami, the god of life and order. She said while Naruto's jaw dropped. He was in the presence of God itself or in this case herself that many people trying to deduce her existence that only the pure ones can only see her as she truly is and Naruto was one of those persons and her voice sounded tranquil yet powerful with a snap of her fingers she can create and destroy anything. Thank you Naruto. I have a job for you, Kaguya. I wanted to that when you're older leave the planet to Earth set things right because in the future I saw unnecessary destruction since Kaguya never had someone who could trust her and the Shinju themselves have a parasite called Black Zetsu, the very parasite that will corrupt Kaguya after her future sons inherited her chakra, sealing her on the moon and Black Zetsu causing wars and deaths just to free her. I want you to be with her and help her purge that parasite with the will of the elements. She explained to him as she put her finger on his forehead and the entire canon events unfolded before his very eyes. He saluted when Kami kissed him on his forehead and he got all red. Farewell Naruto, may true eternal peace follow and someday my sister and I will be part of your harem someday. She said while she saw Naruto having a boner despite being on his own mind. I take that as a yes. She said before disappearing and Naruto waking up. Take hospital, Naruto. Kaguya shouted with tears in her eyes. He asked his parents to leave the room and put silencing seals on the way out. Therefore, he began to explain what he saw in his mind and even Kami kissed her. Kaguya's reactions were sad, angry, betrayed, and finally a nosebleed. Yes, this is very important and we have to keep it a secret even from our parents. Once we reach 21 we'll start to harvest chakra fruits from other planets and once we reach that age the one on Earth in the Milky Way galaxy will have a fruit prepared. However, we need experience in self-defense, weapons, gardening, politics, healing, medicines, poisons, and seals. Tougher than the toughies, smarter than the smarties, sharper than the sharpies, and we seek enlightenment like the monks and honor like the samurais. That's my not saying Kaguya. Naruto proclaimed while Kaguya blushed at the statement of including her and they only met in less than a week. Maybe he is the one that Yami told her when she was sleeping near Naruto. Kaguya thought to herself. Flashback to Kaguya's mindscape during Naruto's. Yami finished explaining the same thing to Kaguya like Kami did to Naruto. Farewell my future harem sister. Yami said while Kaguya flustered. Present time. They felt something in their pockets and it was a scroll for shadow clones and despite their age, they have a lot of chakra reserves thanks to Kami and Yami and they can abuse the technique to up their intellect without brain damage. As if fate brought them together, honey. Mikan said to her husband, which was technically true despite knowing it yet. Few years later, it has been years since they graduated from the university with their master's degree in politics, since they needed it more to make them good and just rulers. Ever since Kami and Yami met them and gave them their memories from the last timeline, they have been busting their asses off to not make the same mistakes, particularly Kaguya since Black Zetsu influenced her. During their training with the help of chakra pills despite not growing the horns yet and with their minset from the last timeline, they improved drastically. That Naruto affinity is still wind that he can create winds to fly and Kaguya is surprisingly wood release. The biggie is that they learned in all the releases like ice, crystal, scorch and the new one atom release that they can manipulate existent matter and change their elements and can cause nuclear explosions that even makes Tadara-kun from excitement. Flashback on Naruto and Kaguya meeting the mysterious creature. They felt the presence of a blue toad with closed eyes smiling. When he opened, its eyes were giving a demonic aura, but they felt that it didn't have bad intentions. Salutations, my name is the toad said while jumping in the air, changing into a humanoid with markings on his face that are black, blue hair and a long ponytail with an aquamarine bulb-like tip. The haori is dark green with dull gray fluff. The kimono is dark in color, as is tied with an aquamarine sash, and wears blue eco pants. His most noticeable feature is the single oni horn that juts from his forehead. Total demon, the demonic toad sage, and boss summon. He finished as he gave a bow. Do I know you? Naruto asked since in his last life, he trained with the toads, but they never had a horn on their foreheads. Actually I know you, but you don't know me since I have been watching you since you were born, but hiding in the shadows. He said, but seeing Naruto angry made him stop. Yami instructed me to watch, but I couldn't interfere due to not making it worse during your childhood, since I'm a demonic animal with demonic aura instead of chakra. He explained his disappointment that Gamamura chose poorly on making Jiraiya make Naruto choose the normal toad summons, since the rules are that summons choose the person not the way around, and he only did that once with Hagoromo. Present time. It took years for Naruto to know it when Isiki told him why they turned the fruit into pills, so that Black Zetsu would not corrupt their minds, despite the lack of immortality. Therefore, Isiki used his Kama seal on him, then killed himself for the process to finish, but Naruto killed himself before Isiki took over him, and he saw for the last time Kurama, who was in fact a female named Kiyomi. Naruto was thinking from when he and Kaguya were in the void, he saw Kami and Yami. When he was near Kaguya he nearly wanted to hit her, but she cowered in fear before Yami intervened and told them that they need to correct the mistake since it wasn't meant to happen. The Naruto he can sympathize with Kaguya since he knows what it feels to be hunted down by the nose that they had to protect, and it took once again a monologue of a prick with a huge ego to tell the truth. I mean, come on, can't someone just tell him the whole truth? Even Hagoromo had so much dirt hidden in his closet, and Naruto wanted to strangle him for what he did to Indra, Ashura, and even Madara Uchiha, because that what the same thing his father Minato did when sealing Kiyomi. He chose the village instead of family, and he regretted taking the mantle of Hokage for what happened to Boruto. Never again. He shouted with the same eyes that total dude has before calming down. Keep calm, Naruto. Don't screw this up now. He said to himself. A few months later, the tall figure was excellent. They think that they can beat my prophecy, eh? The figure said via a soft-spoken British accent, then turned into a flamboyant voice with the mask's eyes glowing ominously as the figure teleported out of the scene. The next morning, Naruto woke up first thinking about the tailed beasts. To him they were his family despite their pride, as chakra constructs, but when he tried to talk with the Kyuubi, Kiyomi said that it has no consciousness, no ideals, no feelings, only craving destruction and chaos. But Naruto wanted it to change since he was taught by pity that everywhere there's chakra. His proof was the tailed beast's personification of chakra itself. Thinking of the Shinju that the Otsutsuki harvest their fruits for power. No wonder the Kyuubi were created, they were actually retrieving what was theirs in defense. Maybe he can change it once he eats the fruit and use the creation of all things to divide it into 10 entities and make sure they are never sealed ever again. They deserve their freedom and the Kyuubi. That still haunts him even in temporary death because he knows what isolation can do to anyone. Then he notices the females waking up. Morning. Did you two sleep well? He asked them, and they nodded while glowing. Contrary to popular belief, he likes girls with long hair with a few exceptions. Cough cough Conan cough. And having the knowledge to remove the comma seals from people, any seal, and even the snake pedo seals are useless as shit on my watch. I have to kill him for all the things he did during my life and before that. He said that to himself. Kaguya yawned. I had a weird dream of being the Kyuubi again, but like a rabbit with 9 other heads behind my back. She said while her mom was snoring lightly. That makes Naruto thinks that if Kaguya and I eat the fruit cut in half we'll have the same capacity of power, but the Shinju will start to rampage due to Black Zetsu, so we need to destroy the parasite and change the Shinju which has enough chakra to create the tailed beasts and help them train so that the Sharingan and Mokuton doesn't affect them. Maybe this will be the last time that I will see you two. Kagura said crying knowing she was on the loop with them. Don't worry mother, we can visit you in the Pure Land when we eat the chakra fruit. Kaguya said to comfort her mother. Okay, first things first, we use Mama Shiki, Urashiki and Asiki as sacrifices to the Shinju, making sure that they stay dead so they can't shrink into someone's head to steal their nutrients, thus drastically reducing any invasion from our planet, and we get our full powers back. If the Shinju turns into you use adamantine sealing chains to maintain the Kyuubi in one place so I can enter its mindscape and purge Black Zetsu's influence, and finally we use the creation of all things to create the tailed beasts. Naruto explained to Kaguya and Kagura. Naruto, that's brilliant. Kaguya said as she kissed him and he blushed with a boner hard. They put proper clothing to leave the planet towards Earth while Naruto drugged Mama Shiki, Urashiki and Asiki, put them in separate storage seals, and explained to Maiko that those 3 are a menace to the universe and that we don't stop them they will eat everyone from the planet and then the rest. Therefore, Maiko gave him permission and his blessing to marry his daughter. Naruto, you will be a perfect and just ruler someday. Maiko said his last words to Naruto before he and Kaguya left for Earth. Naruto and Kaguya land on Earth to consume the chakra fruit and make sure that those 3 are dead while taking all their blood and pour it on the Shinju. Well Kaguya, this is the Shinju, a parasitic tree that our clan harvested since the beginning, which it's actually Kami's gift for the universe. Naruto said as he unsealed those 3 pricks and used blood style. Blood extraction by leeches, as leeches suck out all of Asiki, Mama Shiki and Urashiki, while Kaguya extracted their vital organs to sell to merchants and used all killing ash bones to pierce their skins into ashes. Finally I feel like one of my burdens is gone. She said as Naruto poured their blood into the tree's trunk and absorbed it and the tree made a fruit and floated down to the duo. The fruit looked like a giant plum that smelled like apple pie. Naruto cut the fruit in half for them to eat. It tastes like the purest of fruits. So that's how it tastes. Naruto said as they finished eating it, as Naruto felt as if he was Sasuke when Itachi put him on at Tsukiyomi before he left and his previous life all in one. To Kaguya it felt as she was Zetsu, killing innocent lives, devouring them, and like Madara being stabbed by Zetsu. When they finished their horns formed as Kaguya, familiar rabbit-like ears appeared while Naruto formed into real fox-like ears, horns not like Kiyomi in her Kyuubi form. They both had the Rin Sharingan Tensugen that activated at will, and their hair reached to the ground, and their clothing changed into grey kimonos, with the back having the kanji for balance. Suddenly the top of the tree bent over towards them for a flower to bloom with the Rin Sharingan looking at them, then it changed into the first form of the Kyuubi. I won't describe it, since you people know what it looks like. Who dares to steal from me? Kyuubi shouted with the voice of Black Zetsu. as Kaguya unleashed her adamantine sealing chains at the Juubi for it to stay in one place. Wait a minute. You're telling me that you're the tree's brain. Do you know how much suffering you put through us just to get your chakra back, and Kaguya? You made her own sons to seal her in the fucking moon just to say that chakra belongs to you. Naruto shouted since he hates the guy since he manipulated Madara, Obito, and even Kaguya, and they all wanted peace. Well, excuse me, princess. I just did what I was made to do. Juubi said. Mind transfer jutsu. Naruto shouted as a spectral form emerged from his body and entered the Juubi's mind, which was barren with no life whatsoever, except that he saw already the tailed beast Shukaku, Matatabi, Isobu, Sungak, Kakuo, Saika, Chimei, Jiki, and Kiyomi, and Kagura. With 10 wolf tails near her butt beating the stuffing out of Black Zetsu, who was cowering and pleading. Inside the Juubi's mindscape, you got some nerves to make us all suffer. Shukaku said with anger in his voice when he was inside Gaara, and that the white Zetsus killed Himawari when he was training her using magnet release. Ever since Boruto's death she isolated herself, and it took months from Shukaku to tell her it not worth it since he learned that lesson if it weren't for Naruto, plus Kiyomi was scared of her when she was inside of Naruto. Shukaku was like a father figure to Gaara even with Kurara in his gourd. Kiyomi was about to use a tailed beast bomb at Zetsu until Naruto told her to stop. Naruto, why are you defending it? She asked. Because it was doing what it was ordered to. He said. Began with this. The Juubis don't have a consciousness. Kakuo said with steam coming from her blowhole. And I said yes since you guys were a part of it, just like Hagoromo said, to each having their own identity, but at the same time connected. He just never told anyone to protect you guys since he created you in the last timeline nearly during the end of his physical life. Naruto said as he came towards Black Zetsu. Stay away from me. Zetsu yelled while crying as Naruto chanted, forging a path not with just power, but with love to maintain harmony, that's the way of the will of the elements. Naruto said as he put his hand on Black Zetsu's chest as the beast slightly bowed. Zetsu stopped screaming and it felt calm, like Kami telling her to leave all the hatred behind in the past and forge a new future as it changed into a feminine figure we all know and love and fantasize, Naruko Otsutsuki, youngest daughter of Naruto and Kaguya, as she floated down calmly as she sleeps while the beasts were slack-jawed. Is it me, or are you all seeing that she has a little Naruto between her legs, or that she looks like Baruko combined? Said Saika, who was blushing at the new girl who is now their sister. It looks that Naruto's sexy jutsu was the image that Naruto had to change Black Zetsu since he always considered his sexy jutsu form as her own being, and she black streaks in her hair as reminder that anyone with or without chakra can change if they want, and she wanted to be loved. Kagura said as she was the second to last youngest. Naruko woke up as Naruto hugged her and she cried again as the beasts and Kagura huddled around her like a group hug. They gave me a new life and by Kami I will not screw it up. Naruto thought to herself. Meanwhile at the Pure Land, Kami had her eyes closed and smiled as she felt someone thanking her. Outside the mindscape, Kaguya stopped using the chains as the Juubi stopped moving and Naruto returned to his body. It's done. He said and she nodded. They both used the creation of all things to separate the Juubi into 10 beasts as it turns white and changes into 11 glowing balls, but when she saw Kagura, she was surprised that the 10-tailed took the form of her mother. They separated and she saw Naruko naked and blushed seeing Naruko's D. Like father, like son, or in this case daughter. Kaguya said with a bit of blood dripping from her nose. I'm surrounded by perverts. Kiyomi said blushing. Last time I remembered I took your virginity, Kiyomi, with my shadow clones. Naruto retorted as her siblings got blackmail material when they heard that. Let's change the subject now. Kagura too said her name is after her grandmother and it felt natural to her. What would we do now, Naruto? Isobu asked. Well, we have to train you guys to make changes to make yourselves look human to avoid attention and sharpen your skills so that the Rin Sharingan and wood style doesn't affect you guys. No need to worry about the Otsutsuki since we can try to make peace with them since we killed the main conspirators. Naruto said as he carried Naruko to the land of the ancestors. I know you're my wife, but do you have to have his children? Naruto asked. I don't need to sleep with Tenji, I just need to knock him out and get his sperm. I can accept other women in your harem, but the only man I need is you, and just this once can I turn those from the land of that into Zetsus. Kaguya said. Well, they deserve it to fake documents to get more land, but we will explain it to Hagoromo and Homura since keeping that a secret leads to grave consequences. Naruto said, remembering Sasuke. He will save him as he remembers Sarada as she was the first female Uchiha to unlock her Sharingan with positive emotions. The beast sans, Kiyomi gasped. It's true, she told that to Naruto. she said. The hinges for the beasts except Kagura too are like their previous Jinchuriki except that Saika looks like Tsunade, Kakuya like Tear Harable, Chimei like Kakashi without Obito's left Sharingan, and Kiyomi a mix of Mito and Kushina like in Lemon Sage's Era Ninja. So, Naruto, Kaguya, and Kagura retracted their horns, closed their Rin Sharingans, and changed into blue eyes for Naruto and brown for Kaguya and Kagura. Land of the Ancestors, Tenji's castle. Halt. What is your purpose? The guard said, as Tenji appeared into the scene. We seek refuge since our home was attacked. Naruto said while lying, as Kaguya mind-wiped the guards and Tenji to let them in. They may have created the beasts, but this is just the beginning. The mysterious entity said. 2 months later after Kaguya got pregnant, Naruto was feeling Kaguya's belly as the babies developed. I can sense your chakra in them, Kaguya. They will be powerful, but not on our level. Naruto said, as Kaguya smiled, as she saw Naruto eating a severed arm, since one of the guards was groping her, so she killed him and ate the body except for one hand, as a snack. Naruto and Kaguya aren't phased since they also do sometimes. We're ninjas, and ninjas do some unethical things within reason. Plus, they say eating your enemy makes you stronger. Naruto said while licking blood from her lips sensually. I may be a lesbian, but I can make an exception with you daddy. Naruto said, swaying her hips sensually while Naruto and Kaguya nosebleed. Meanwhile with the tailed beasts, it feels good being freed again and actually not being sealed on someone. Though I miss FK. Chimei said. And I miss being inside Naruto-kun. Kiyomi said with a fangirlish voice. Oh my kami I sounded like Sakura. She said. Yeah I miss Rin, she actually got to know me despite me being in a time bomb seal. Isobu said. Instead of being inside them we'll not be partners with them. We can share our powers with them just like Kiyomi did with the Shino Alliance when they battled Madara. This time I'll make sure that Karura lives and Rasa does not become an ass. Shukaku said. I find a partner that doesn't constantly rap. Jiki said, as he knew Killer Bee was competent but overconfident plus Jiki was more into Kenjutsu. Then it's settled and we will find new partners that suit our tastes. Koku said, as she was the second in command with Kiyomi, as first even Shukaku admitted it. Well we wait 7 more months since the twins will be born. Matatabi said, as she heard a ruckus, as that was their cue to leave since Naruto killed the minister of the land of that. They teleported out of the castle near to where the Shinju was, and they saw Ino dead, while Tenji with his army was there to kill Naruto and Kaguya for treason. Naruto sent them a telepathic message to secure Ino's body and cover their eyes, since he was going to use that technique as he flew through the sky and reflected his Rin Sharingan to perform the infinite Tsukiyomi on the army to put them into an eternal dream as Naruto put her hands into the ground to perform God nativity of a world of trees to make a mini Shinju tree to turn them into white Zetsus. So that's where they came from. Who knew? Son Gok said. It had to be done, they were a menace to the nations. They practically were like Dan's Mall doing for their land when they were doing it for themselves. Kaguya explained. So what now? Seiken asked, as she rarely spoke in this chapter. We return to the castle and tell them that Tenji let me rule and if anyone opposes, kill them for them to get the message. Kaguya said and they all nodded. How about when the twins are born? Naruto asked her. We can fake the sacrifices for Hagoromo train with the toads and fake Homura's death with a blood clone of mine Henge as him so that Hagoromo gets his Rinnegan. We hide so that can create a fake Yuubi for them to seal off the moon, since it will be fake he won't make the beast since they are all here. We have made sure that Naruto guides Indra towards the right path of making ninjutsu. Kaguya explained. Making Hagoromo the fake sage of 6 paths. That's brilliant Kaguya. He said while kissing her. How about if an invasion happens that is powerful, but not all-knowing, and everywhere? Kiyomi asked. We'll rally allies since this planet is our home and is one of the few to have living sapient beings like ourselves. Naruto stated. But we have to make sure to leave something to our descendants. Naruto thought when he remembered Menma. He snapped his fingers. To maintain balance Kami and Yami told to leave a bit of my chakra to Menma, well Kaguya does the same to Hinata, and if Menma will be like me, well let's just say that only Hinata will not satisfy him. What do I save everyone's asses like on a regular Tuesday? Kiyomi gave me a list of many women that loved me aside from Hinata. I may be the original, but Menma deserves his happiness since he will be one of the saviors of the planet. So you will stay to maintain the balance and change into proper forms since it's kinda weird like you are since most of those forms bring some bad memories to me. Naruto said and glanced towards Kiyomi. What? It was torture when he was dense as a brick. She retorted. It was using the mask Kiyomi and you knew it. Naruto retorted and even Orochimaru knew that Naruto's pranks were not for fun, they were always for ulterior motives. He was or will be an Uzumaki and they always get even in death. At least we can see how our former father and uncle were born. Kakuo said. Naruto watching the twin sparring reminds him of him and Sasuke when they were young. How naive I was back then. That I could forgive and forget like Hiruzen said. That old fool was playing the strings with me since he wanted the most powerful tailed beast at his command like feigning hope and becoming Hokage, but, unlike Danzm, he made it too convincing, even Jiraiya and Orochimaru were in on it, not even Kaharu and Homura were told nothing at all. Not just me, they manipulated me, even Sasuke, Itachi, Mikoto, Fugaku, Hinata, Mom, Dad, Tsukumo, Kakashi, Konohamaru, Tsunade, Shizune, Nagato, Konan, Yahiko, Hanzm, the Jinchuricus, even somehow the tailed beasts, Madara, Boruto, Sarada, Kaguya, and Black Zetsu were their puppets. They thought they would hide it from me. If it weren't for Kami I would have stayed oblivious. Flashback from the last timeline when Naruto was Hokage after Sasuke killed Boruto. Another tiring day of being Hokage. He said depressed. Ever since Sasuke had to kill Boruto, so that Momoshiki stayed dead was traumatizing. That somehow Naruto awakened the Mangekyou Sharingan. Maybe it was when they were fighting Kaguya, that when they sealed her on a new moon, Naruto got some of Sasuke's blood during the sealing, and he saw that Kaguya and Zetsu were lucid, and they smiled at him one last time, and that they made his blood receive any other blood type to him before being sealed again. He has been asking Sasuke to travel to the ice dimension to visit Kaguya. They communicated with her by telepathy, and he explained to her and Sasuke about the file. Both were extremely pissed that the Hiruzen would sell them out. Yuzu's foal was from 4 hidden villages. Sand. Hiruzen telling Obito the location of where I was born, that he even let Obito kill Taji who had wood release, and his own wife Bawako. Hiruzen deliberately made my dad use the Reaper seal to take Yin Kiyomi to Shiny, Shinigami's nickname. Threatened Fugaku, since he fell in love with her that was a former main branch member, to start a coup before Itachi killed them all minus Obito and Sasuke. You could sense Black Zetsu's chakra on fire that can burn like an Amaterasu when he heard that some jackass was watering the Shinju with contaminated water, way before Kaguya ate the fruit. No wonder he became the insane cannibalistic being we had known to hate and manipulated Kaguya against his will. It was from a guy named Dementia or something. Nobody has seen his face or if he has one at all. Naruto said. Wait, you said Dementia? Kaguya asked. Yes. Naruto said. I have heard of him. They said he was from another dimension from a tribe called the Ancients. They were one of the most powerful beings in the multiverse, as they were more advanced than we were. Heck, they could use seals to evolve the Mangekyou Sharingan into eternal, even the Rin Sharingan, with putting seals on your closed eyelids. Even that works with anyone, even civilians, without pain or blindness at all. Kaguya said, surprising Sasuke, that something he thought was only for his clan could only use. Heck, he could use it to the ones that he can trust. He always wanted to be a medic ever since Itachi had his illness. He worried for him that the elders intentionally made Itachi work to the bone when they learned he was a prodigy. Even made Obito killed his girlfriend to put in his place, and the police force just for Danzm to desecrate the corpses, eyes like the pig he was. Alas, some members of the tribe exiled themselves due to the doubt of their descendants being weaker, so they became the tribe of darkness and began dabbling in the dark arts and keeping it to themselves. But no one knows why they separated. Even Kami and Yami wouldn't know since the jackass made it so convincing and manipulated others with words that they were none the wiser. I saw him once writing on a book that was black, purple, pink in one half and red on the other with a diamond line and a sapphire gem in the middle as the colors of the book shift. My curiosity got the best of me and I read about a man in green, a pink ball, and something called 7 star children. But what shocked me the most was that I was mentioned in the book that Hagoromo and Homura sealing me in a moon, Zetsu causing wars, the tailed beast sealment, 2 rivals forming an alliance, Yuzu's fall, Kushina's kidnapping, Minato being Hokage for then die for Hiruzen to take the seat back, Hinata's kidnapping attempt, Hitomi's death, Hinata's mom, the Uchiha massacre, Gaara's madness, the invasion, Toneri, giving Hanzm a salamander summon poison sac to his body, a toad with glowing eyes, telling Gamamaru a fake prophecy about the savior of the world, and to Hiroko the white snake sage controlling her mind to inject Orochimaru Senjutsu. The other snakes except Manda, he's a huge dick, were against it and that she was out of her mind. They wanted the Hebeheim trio as their sages since they were immortal, but kept it secret from Hiroko who is their aunt. All of it was planned even before it happened. Kaguya continued. Naruto and Kurama beyond pissed that Naruto used 9-tailed beast bombs towards the icy ground of the dimension to vent his and Kiyomi's frustrations. Sasuke somehow turned into his former second stage cursed seal and began trashing in the air. Better? Zetsu asked. Better. Naruto and Sasuke said calmly. The biggie was that after I read about my future resealing, it shows Dementia wearing a green skin tight suit in front of a sunset with an army at his command. Then suddenly Dementia saw me reading it and asked how much you read. Kaguya said. Not much. She answered him. Good. Dementia said with a sinister looking smile like looking to her soul. Wait a minute, you're telling us that that bastard Joker was going to use Rock Lee? Naruto shouted. You mean all of this was because of some bastard sick pleasure? When I get my hands on him I'll make sure he's dead and turn his body into Shiny's toilet and his head into a dildo that's the size of my dick for Jashin. Naruto sided with Kurama. Sage Cloak activated and Sasuke, Kaguya, and Zetsu blushed at the last part. Women want him and men want to turn into women to be with him. You can't do it alone, Naruto. Don't you remember Delta? She practically beat you even with you using 9 tails and Sage Mode chakra at max and she beat you with only Taijutsu and that was all her no comma seal included and Dementia was the man behind Isiki. She said, from what I heard when I was Shinju's mind growing during the Endless War era, I heard him talking to me saying that he fights dirty and uses others and can bend dimensions at will in a blink of an eye. I think the only way he can know that is as if he planted me or has some knowledge of the Shinju trees. Zetsu said. The only way to beat him is by playing his game. His pride is his flaw that he thinks he's perfect, thus underestimating his opponents. Though we can't fight him head on since he can kill us in a swift manner. However, if Kami and Yami let Naruto and I travel back in time, but with Naruto being born in Take and then they visits us in our mindscape to awake our past knowledge and powers, then we can turn the tables at him. Unfortunately we have make some events nearly similar so that Dementia doesn't notice. Kaguya explained. You're right Kaguya, maybe it is for the best. Sasuke, you have been a best friend to me since you knew how I felt in my childhood despite not showing it and all the shit you did. If I knew my heritage back then I could have made you live with me at the Uzumaki compound so you didn't have to be alone. You were like the older brother I wanted. Even Mikoto, Fugaku and Itachi wanted to adopt me, but the elders didn't want the container of Kiyomi to smear their clan's name despite being cousin clans. Naruto said as Sasuke was surprised that his mom, brother and even dad wanted to adopt Naruto. He admitted that his wife was the true clan head. If only he told that to Itachi and me I would have understood. She practically put everyone in the clan in their place. Nevertheless, the elders were pointing a katana against his father's back literally so that he wouldn't blab. How did you know? Sasuke asked. Because they visited me and Sarada when she and Himawari were having a sleepover at my house. They forgive you Sasuke. He said as Sasuke in over 20 years, his dam burst and cried on Naruto's shoulder. It's okay Sasuke, I promise to make them live again. Naruto said while comforting Sasuke. I know you never break a promise even in death you still do it. Sasuke stated. Hey I'm a never give up guy and you better believe it, no Dadabayo since he matured Sasuke. Naruto said. Present time, that pseudo Shinju tree Jinjutsu that Naruto created to fool Gamamaru was so easy. Naruto said as he saw the villagers asking the twins. He saw Kaguya on the balcony looking at the sky angrily. You will pay for your deeds Dementia, and when we get you will ask for mercy you son of a bitch. Kaguya said to herself. Mother has been looking at the sky every day again brother. It looks like she has feelings that her own sons can't fathom. Hagoromo said to Hamura as Haori came into view towards the field. Hagoromo? Hamura. You have to come quick. Haori said. What is the problem with Haori? Hagoromo asked as she guided the twins towards the fields. The flow of the river is low. A villager said as Hamura used his Byakugan to locate a giant boulder in the forest. Who could have put a giant boulder of that size? Hamura asked. That would be me. Gamamura said as his presence surprised the twins as a black bear came from behind and Gamamura used a hydro pump to launch it onto a small boulder and ran away. Anyway my name is Gamamaru and yours are Hagoromo and Hamura Tsusuke and you two are hybrids. Our kind have lived for years in these lands due to the presence of chakra. He said as he guided the twins towards a hill overlooking the Shinju. Have you ever wondered what's near that tree? He asked. Mother said that the tree is what thrives our lands. Hagoromo said. If you know about trees and plants, it requires responsibility and responsibility demands sacrifices. Gamamaru said cryptically as the trio left in different directions. Unaware that they were being watched that even Hamura couldn't notice with his Byakugan because the watchers were shapeshifted as normal animals and who might them be it was Naruto as a bird and Chimei as a normal beetle as Naruto and Chimei changed back as themselves Naruto took a walkie-talkie from her cleavage. The dope twins are heading to base, I repeat the dope twins are heading to base, over. She said. Roger that Naruto, over. Kaguya said on her side. Then both leave to watch old Wardy's entrance to his realm. Great Toad Sage my ass. Naruko said as she turned into Gamamaru. Look at me I can predict prophecies with my visions blah blah fucking blah. She said, mocking his voice as Chimei laughed as they left towards the castle. Hagi's castle and skip Hagoromo's training is not worth it. The twins saw the villagers heading towards Shinju. The twins demand his mother's presence. So you have returned Hagoromo and went into the summoning realm I presume? Hagoromo gasped about her knowing his training. Why are you doing this mother? Don't you know about love? He demanded her to answer, and he saw her smirking, and the rest of the beasts appeared looking angry towards the twins. Because you haven't learned that believing only in love is in vain. If you truly love someone, you prove by doing it, not by only saying, and never show favoritism. But even with Senjutsu you never learn. She said, as she has flashes of past Indra and Ashura, as Kaguya snaps her fingers, as Naruto prepares to fight both of the twins using only Kenjutsu. Let's see if you guys can beat your past descendant bitches. Naruto said with a maniacal grin, as the tailed beasts were eating popcorn courtesy of Son Goku, and he changed into his demonic Toad Sage mode. If you seen Total Demon, you would know his eye color, as she unsheathed the sword that he call his all-killing ash bone sword, made from his own bones from both his arms, and can channel his chakra to change its element, and the things that pierces turns into ash if he wants, and he can put the person into a coma, while convincing that the victim is dead, a perfect use to awake Hagoromo's Rinnegan. The dual-bladed duelist. Naruto singing, you fools. Dare to challenge me? The master of cutlery. On my blade, your doom you'll see. To my sword, you'll take a knee. Oh, you'll fall like those before. Instant death would be a bore. So for you, my blade I'll store. Entertain me, I implore. Without my blades, my martial skill is without parallel. I don't need to slice you now to make this duel a living hell. I laugh, I spit upon your taijutsu moves. Hear the sound of the funeral bells. You're weak, you're frail, you're paper thin. Your NEV5 are gonna win. You'll be but scraps of paper to be TOSS5D into the bin. Toad singing, hey, watch your heads, Hagoromo and Homura. Don't let those blades pierce you, or your lives will turn into ashes. Naruto singing, I am the reaper that comes in the night. Here my blades unsheathed. You already lost the fight. Takes just one cut to eviscerate your life. I'm the bane of all paper. I'm the bringer of strife. I am growing bored. No more holding back. Time to draw my blade for my last attack. I'm scissors. You're paper. You know what comes next. Say goodnight, sons. I will slit your neck. Here now you'll die, you will rest in pieces. The final cut approaches. My power releases, now fall in twain. Your pulp shall rain. The demonic god brings the pain. You know you're dead when you hear my rhyme. My blade so sharp, they can even cut up the time. I grant no quarter. I'll cut you into quarters. How long till you falter here? Till you are consumed by fear. Your death is approaching near. You'll fall to my deadly shears. You slip, you make on mistake. One bad jump is all it takes. Now I have raised the stakes. Won't be long till your will shall break. Your pulp will stain the castle of Tenji, and you will join the shadows creeping through the edifice. You climbed to heaven, now you're tripping at the precipice. Your head is mine, there is no escaping this. As stated by the ancient combat art of Rochambeau, the outcome of this duel, who lives, who dies, you already know. Toad singing, hey, watch your steps, Hagoromo and Homura. Don't let those blades pierce you, or else your lives will turn into ashes. Naruto singing, I am the sword that cleaves through the land. All your doom shall come by my hand. You will be reshaped when your final hour I bring. You will have no choice but to hail me and Kaguya. You can't dodge forever. You will soon succumb. One touch of my blade and you'll be ashes. I'm scissors. You are paper. You know what I do. Ami YMM Shindaru. You're already dead. Here now you'll die, you will rest in pieces. The final cut approaches. My power releases, now fall in twain. Your pulp shall rain. The dual-bladed duelist brings the pain. You know you're dead when you hear my rhyme. My blade so sharp, they can even cut up the time. I grant no quarter. I'll cut you into quarters. As he pierces near Homura's heart, which shocks him into a near-dead state. Naruto spoke. Once again, I have cut a worthless object. Hagoromo gasps as he sees his brother dead, and he cries without realizing that he gained the Rinnegan as he used Gamamaru's tag to revive Homura. Her reviving tag that the toads made was in vain, that they killed themselves to create it. Naruto said. What? Both twins shouted. It was obvious that if they summoned us with all their nature chakra they would die. Even when I was a Shinju I knew that. Naruto said. What? You mean that I indirectly killed innocent animals? You were the divine tree. Hagoromo said that and pointed at Naruto, who shrugged at him. Hey dad, can I wipe off the twins now? Shukaku said with a maniacal grin that Gaara had done it multiple times before fixing his seal. I permit it, but not in the testicles since they need to procreate. Naruto said. We may now censor this part because it was cruel and unusual torture that involved sand, lava, and dildos with spikes. Finally it was good to get that out of the system, daddy. Kiyomi said sensually to Naruto as the others nodded. What do we do now then? Kakuo asked as Naruto appeared. How about going into the summoning realm to train in Senjutsu? That way we can prepare ourselves and make them create ground rules. Naruto explained. Naruto thought of all the times he has met summoning, and most of them choose wrong, ever specify their teachings, never give a pre-test if the person is worthy to train. They have never found a proper sage, choose fewer persons, and let Manda live too long. Thinking about Jiraiya and Kabuto. Orochimaru needs to die since he sullied the snakes in jutsu, and Kabuto made it obvious age mode is about balance and sublimity. You opponents can never know your stats are through the roof suddenly. Ichika Shimahime was blunt to tell Naruto that she has a crush on him and that she always knew that Orochimaru and Kabuto were bad news, especially the latter since he had the potential to do it, but for misdeeds, the majority of the snakes wanted the Hibe trio as the true snake sages. Despite having a malevolent side and eats weak chakra, reuse it, she has her reasons to prove if the person is worthy to wield nature chakra, and the carefree attitude is an act for people to think she's not concentrated, but actually is to observe the challenger. She wishes to teach them to the new generation, but Orochimaru and Kabuto left a scar, dabbled on the forbidden techniques of Senjutsu, and created those blasphemous cursed seals. Every animal from the summon realm were extremely pissed, especially the killins, phoenixes, and honey badgers. Ichika Shimahime may be a snake, but at least she knows her limits and earned the respect of Baxter the honey badger boss age due to their beliefs, immortality, and he sees potential in her and her sisters. She got depressed that they spared Orochimaru and Kabuto, but after a night of lovemaking with Naruto at his house, yes, Hinata is an open-minded wife that Naruto leaves the door open for her to watch and then joins Sarada watches for experience. I always wanted to do it at my own pace without world-ending threats now. Naruto said, as they left near the same watering spot that Gamamura went to, they were transported into the summoning realm. Summoning realm, wow. It's beautiful. Why didn't they tell me this? Kaguya said. They saw various animals interacting including toads, snakes, roosters, kangaroos, etc. So this is where you trained in the last timeline, Naruto? Shukaku asked. Yes, but it was less than a year ago. Naruto answered with the disguise of a raccoon dog. And suddenly various hands from under grabbing them before disappearing. Sacred Summon Reunion Cave, and a secret part of the realm where Is was more modern and more human-looking place where different creatures ranging from a Killin, Ikaku, Volkner, Fumizeru, Baxter, Honey Badger, Fiona, Phoenix with white feathers, Al, the Irakuan bird, and 3 familiar-looking snakes that Naruto recognized. Ichika Shimahime, Ichiki, Tajitsuhime, Tajitsu, Tagorahime, Tagori, and Total Demon. What are you 4 doing here? Naruto asked. Naruto, you know those 3 snakes? Kaguya asked while holding Naruto's left arm while glaring at the 3 with her Tensegan activated, particularly at Ichiki. No need for jealousy, Kaguya, you wouldn't injure a fellow harem sister, would ya? Ichiki said with her real voice, which was regal for someone who hides behind a mask of playfulness. Yes, and they're Melusines, Kaguya. I met Ichiki and her sisters when I was evaluating the summon realm so that the future generation can learn to use Senjutsu. The snakes wanted me to be their summoner, but back then due to wars you can only have 1 animal summon, but the toads one-up them by that damn fake prophecy and Jiraiya's pity. Amabunta told me that he didn't want Minato to be his summoner. The cheetahs and hummingbirds wanted him, but he didn't tell me due to the Jiraiya present. He explained that only a summon looking for a student, not the way around, is correct, and due to wars, they had to choose less and less. I may sound like a hypocrite, but I'm also a pervert, but at least I keep it to myself and those who I can truly trust. Naruto said. Yeah, that's true. In addition, we know that you 13 traveled back in time. You guys can speak freely here, only those who we deem worthy can enter this cave, and no one can hear us at all. Tajitsu said. Wait, how did you know about that? I thought only Kami, Yami, Jashin, and Shinigami knew. Naruto asked, shocked. Because Naruto, we are the legendary boss age summons Naruto. The real sages of the summons, meaning that we are immortal to maintain order to the summon realm, ever since our true creator Arceus made us, as his practice test, one of animals that, for example, my sisters, and yokai that's Ikaku, and Volkner where a few chosen humans could have interacted with spirits, and finally he made one where he can finally have peace between man and beast, which he, for Shadow, named Pocket Monsters or Pokemon for short. That's our purpose, Naruto, and you have, is, and will always be our savior because your fabled no never give up attitude and try to sympathize with the enemy, even if it is your own family or a parasite. Baxter said looking at the beasts, Kaguya and Naruto, as Naruto was amazed by the explanation, as the gang saw a rural area of a white gray and gold animal with similar body structure of Ikaku with 17 plates orbiting on a golden wheel where its waist is. Thank you for complimenting your sagenesses. Naruto bowed. No need to bow to Naruto, you're practically one of the few aside from your family that we considered equals. Heck, we're waiting for our students to be born in a couple of centuries, some of them are from you and Naruto's harem. Ikaku said while Naruto and Naruto blushed. So did the beasts beat up Hagoromo and Homura? Total Dude asked since he hated what his great-great-grandnephew Gamamura did to sacrifice multiple toads to create a revival seal. Volkner coughed for Killin to get to the point. Sorry for my rant, guys. We have a task for all of you, and you know what we mean. Ikaku said, as he referred to that person, and they saw that gang extremely pissed like human genocide insane, which they can do, but the ones who were truly pissed were Naruto and Naruto, as the former lost his parents when he was born, Obito nearly killing him, as a baby, trying to help a village that hated him because of something Kiyomi didn't do willingly. Naruto took it worse since they contaminated her former body way before Kaguya even ate the fruit and went insane due to my own insane that it didn't let me save Kaguya if the beasts gave me a bit of their chakra, not all of it, but Obito manipulated the words and I couldn't do anything because I was trapped in my mind that it took sealing me to ironically freeing me. To keep her sanity intact, Naruto asked Sasuke to visit her and Kaguya once a week, not even Homura, who was literally on the moon back then, didn't have the decency to talk to his mother at all. She repented when she manipulated and taught Indra ninjutsu the wrong way, rewrite the Uchiha stone tablet and joined that Akatsuki and put the beasts in the husk, and she never wanted them to form a juvenile Jubi like it was. They all saw Naruto crying on the ground in a fetal position as Naruto hugged her. "It's okay, my daughter. It's okay, you're not Black Zetsu anymore, you're a new person," Naruto said while comforting her. "Thanks, daddy." Naruto smiled, feeling better. "I always wanted to learn Senjutsu before." Kakuo said thought they were due to her siblings always being sealed on people and or objects. "And I always wanted Anko to use proper snake Senjutsu, but after the war she was traumatized due to Orochimaru soiling the snake Senjutsu name. She would have been a perfect sage summoner for us," Togori said, sighing. "Well, take it as a redo and for future tests use mosquitoes infused with nature chakra instead of biting the challengers to make a lot more subtle and safer for people as well," Naruto said as Ichiki took notes as he remembered Shino's clan. "So simple and yet brilliant. Thank you, Naruto, you actually made us one step to usher in a new era for us snakes and other summons," Ichiki said as she kissed Naruto on the lips as he touched her tail's tip and Kaguya took a photo. "Finally a new harem sister," Kaguya and Kiyomi said as Naruto and Ichiki blushed while both looking away while the rest of the beasts snickered. The council looked at the tailed beasts and saw that they have potential, though their chakra are corrosive, but with enough training they can use Senjutsu and purify their chakra, Ikaku said. "The training is off-screen for the gang, Naruto, Kaguya, Naruto, and the tailed beasts is the entire animal summons in the realm with shadow clones, so they have the knowledge, but this clones can absorb the animal's nature chakra for normal people with enough training, and will is up to 3. The legendary Boss Age Summon Council appeared in front of them congratulating the gang, as they are the first beings to complete every summon trials in the entire realm in less than a year. In all of our immortal lives we have never seen wills so powerful, dedicated to peace, and many shadow clones that can somehow absorb nature chakra and live to tell the tale. Ikaku dubbed the sages of all beasts," Ikaku said as he and the rest of the council bowed. Ichiki pounced on Naruto, they made out, and the rest laughed. "Now this is a proper ending to our training in Senjutsu," Chimei said as he was thinking of a proper form for himself since he looks like Kakashi and even the beasts, what their own identity is, something that can allow us more freedom, protection, so that they can't use us again as weapons for war. Even we beasts need protection and be loved, though the girls have Naruto. What girl and or woman doesn't want Naruto? He saved our asses constantly with nothing in return, and that Sakura lost someone who actually took time to actually listen and compliment her. I felt ashamed when I wasn't at the reunion when he was Hokage, and I miss my little larva FK. She was the only one who was there for me and was hated for something that we didn't even do. That woman had potential to be a Takakage. When she met Naruto she was ecstatic that she met someone who knows what it felt to have a part of Kaguya inside them, but Demensho had to fuck it up and manipulated Kaguya and Zetsu, and that's worse than scum that stands. It feels kinda great to improve our skills," Saika said happily as she hugged Jiki without her acid nor chakra harming him at all. It felt gooey like non-melting slime. Well, at least there wasn't any rapping. Jiki may have tolerated Killer Bee, but even he has his limits. He always asks himself why didn't Bee chose a rapping career rather than being a shinobi. He may never know. The day of Indra and Ashura studies for ninja. Kaguya seeing her grandchildren growing up was delightful despite being her son's children. She sees the twins studying her son's ninja as Indra has multiple books next to him and Ashura is easily distracted. They both have potential, but Hagoromo never saw it, even when Haori made a sign of choose both with neon letters and sirens. Maybe it is a male thing or something, and Kaguya is lucky to have Naruto since he's loyal to his true family, caring, honest when needed, charismatic, true to his word, and has a bigger D than Tenji in both timelines. In other words, the full alpha package. Back one time when Naruto, Yuruchi, Matatabi's new name, and her permanent human form is from that character of Bleach, and part of Naruto's harem. Get over it readers, you have seen it many times. Naiko Robin, Kakuyo's new name, and form from One Piece. Time skip, Murahin, Saika's new name, and form from Fairy Tail, Kiyomi, Rumi, Kagura's new name, and form from Hero Academia. And I having an orgy, and Homura was using his Byakugan at the moment, and saw us having sex with Naruto, and his wood clones, and they were hard and pleasant at the same time. Homura had an orgasm of a headache that he fell on the floor with a nosebleed and a boner forming a wet spot on his robe. When he woke up, he had a tensigan in both eyes. Brother, what happened to you? Hagoromo asked as he lifted his brother. I have seen something that can never be forgotten, brother. Homura said, looking spooked. Naruto woke up silently as his wives were sleeping and looked at the dope twins and grinned at Homura with his demonic toad sage eyes. Damn, I forgot to put Byakugan-proof seals in my room. Naruto innocently thought he made it on purpose. He knew I was passing by. Homura thought to himself. Yes, we did it on purpose, you dope. Now we're even. Homura heard multiple voices, mostly females, inside his mind as Homura looked at the room and saw the women grinning. What's with the noise? Rumi was the first to wake up lazily with one of her boobs visible. Even Hagoromo got a nosebleed and a frying pan hit in the head by Haori as she glared at him while she gives him a card saying, I'm married with a beautiful and sensual loving wife with 2 fraternal twin kids, and those are my sisters, no matter how hot they are. Let's just say that Naruto and Kaguya gave their own human forms like they were Jinchurikis for themselves without sealing them, as Shukaku chose Ichigo from Bleach, Isobu chose Yugami from Death Note, Son Goku chose Natsu from Fairy Tail, Chimei chose Asori with his hair having subtle green at the front tips and he wears it a beetle mask to hide his sexiness that make Kakashi look plain normal, and Jiki chose Ryoji Fujita from Gallery Fake, and the females you have already read that part. Naruto, Kaguya and Naruto gave them thumbs up as they felt that the tailed beasts have proper identities for themselves and to blend with humans better. Meanwhile outside with the males. Huh. You heard that? Yugami asked Ichigo, who was relaxing on the grass in the garden while he was writing a book called Life of the Bijks, a book focused on some aspects of their former timeline when they were sealed on people using fake names to respect their identities. Thank Kami that Naruto traveled back in time with Kaguya. If it weren't, then we would have been powerless and prideful against Wood Release and the Sharingan's Genjutsu. The dope twins having what they deserve, what of it? Ichigo said as they saw Natsu using a punching bag with harder material while standing on lava barefoot that he made, and James putting weights on his wings to increase his velocity while going against the repelling force of Ichigo's magnet release without hand signs. Rijai made complex seals to gain photographic memory with his Rin Sharingan activated along with Samuel, the king of hell, basking in sunlight. Poor thing never had much freedom since they always used him for eating or spitting souls from the Pure Land. Just because Kaguya and Naruto had sex doesn't mean we feel it also. Though we can deactivate sight and hearing sharing anytime. Someday we can have our own mates at our own pace, Yugami said Ichigo. Ever since he did his Senjutsu training he became saner and less impulsive when he needs to. Yugami tends to absorb knowledge too much, especially politics. Natsu tends to be stronger than his beast form to surprise his enemies, especially of Iwa with Minato. James someday will be part of Anbu or something, since being Cage is excessively much worse, and people will freak out when their leader is a giant 6-winged rhino beetle, and it is more important to be loyal to your family than a whole village. Temple of Ninjutsu, formerly Ninjk. Hagoromo Tsusuke declares that both Indra and Ashura Tsusuke continue the legacy of Ninjker Ninjutsu. I have seen that the only way to achieve peace is to fight for it with words or in dire situations, to let go of past hatred, and both of my children balance each other like yin and yang, and I can finally retire properly. Sons, make your mother and me proud. Hagoromo said as Indra and Ashura hugged him and his mother tightly, and Indra gained the first ever Manjutsu Sharingan due to his extreme happiness that he and his brother continued their father's legacy together. As the crowd hip hip hooray claps and Kaguya gave him a happy nod and smile. You did good, Hagoromo, you stopped the curse of hatred before it began. Kaguya said as the gang smiled. At least Sasuke can be truly happy. And good thing that you taught them both ninjutsu, Naruto. Naruto said as he groped Naruto's ass. Aw shucks, thanks daddy. Naruto said while blushing that at least those twins are better than the dopes now. All well then ends well, as the saying goes. Samuel said with a pleasant voice. Outside, the Mensho appeared from afar looking angry at the event, but then he thought of something sinister and teleported in a blink of an eye. Inside the temple, did you guys send something? Kiyomi asked Rumi, who shrugged. Thanks for watching my video, leave a like if you enjoyed my video, and also do consider subscribing to my channel for more awesome content. See you next time, till then sayonara.